Bit of push and shove between Schultz and Hill on the wing. The boys getting a little bit aggro, coming out of their hubs. They're ready to play. And it's St Kilda taking on the Dockers at Metricon Stadium. Marshall is having a great season. And he gets it as far as Walters, shuffles the ball forward. Schultz goes in hard and low as he always does. Out towards Tucker. And he's been pinned.
And that's a dumb 50. That is a silly way to start the game. You can throw your hands up, but no credit will be given for the hands in the air there. Interesting, Walters got them away early, Jono. And he looks like he's going head-to-head with Gresham. I just don't believe you can go into a game letting Sonny Walters just run around, and maybe he gets a tag. Maybe they pull a Geary out of the half-forward line and push him into defence.
Opening goal for memory, Saints are away.
And you know that you're struggling when you kick the ball the wrong way at the opening bounce. So he hasn't been on a 2.5-hour bus journey, but that has gone the wrong way.
Oh, no.
And it's not the best of starts to the Fremantle Dockers, it's got to be said. That handball should have been given, but, gee, red hot.
It is red hot. It should have been below the knees anyway, with Schultz coming in on Gresham. Good start by the Saints.
Must admit that did throw me when the Dockers kicked the wrong way. Sonny Walters threw everybody out there. Nevertheless, St Kilda are away with a perfect start.
So Fife and Steele, you can see that. That's one of the key matchups today. And we get out to the wing as well. Billings and Chera will be critical throughout this game.
Marshall and Darcy. Hopefully everyone knows which way they're going now.
Push in the back, St Kilda.
So Gresham with an early free kick.
Yeah, they pushed Seb Ross around onto Walters on that occasion.
Drives the ball deep forward towards King, the exciting young man. Saints fans love watching him in action. Geary, a couple of goals early last week, again forward. And Big Darcy's not getting out of there.
And there you can see Geary going to Sonny Walters. Gresham was doing all the pointing. Looks like it is going to be a bit of a round the stoppage clean-up.
Gresham, quick snap out of the pack, misses everything.
And this is what we're going to see a fair bit of from Justin Longyear. He is one of the two shortest kicking sides in the competition. The other one, of course, is St Kilda. But they go slow. The Saints go fast.
One of the key moves already is off the square. After stoppage and centre bounce, Geary comes and takes Walters and tries to tag him in that matchup.
An aggressive kick across the ground from Hill. They just get away with it. Ross needs to deliver by hand and does. Wilkie with a long high ball forward towards King. St Kilda have got men at ground level. Turn it over towards Butler, though, who's been in great form since the season restarted. Dan Butler, but he can't burst through. He's done for holding the ball.
Oh, Brad.
Well, he should have faked it because he had no prior opportunity.
Fife to Schultz. Driving ball down the wing to a one-on-one. Carlisle looks like he's got the job on Taberner early.
Had a pretty good game last week, Taberner. That's just an opportunity there, Jono, for him to use his bulk and his size. He could have held him out and come back to the ball. Carlisle's a good player, though. So it's
he is. He just
battle.
need to be a little bit more aggressive in that approach to the contest. Just get up and under and give himself that opportunity to take the mark.
Tucker might have got one high, and he did. But every game in the last two seasons, the young man from North Ballarat. Jesse Hogan this week. Short to Brayshaw. Walters ignores that lead.
Jonathan Hall. Straight line, please. Straight line.
Here's Akers on debut for Freo after playing previously for St Kilda. It's a high entry inside 50. Fife pulled out of the marking contest. Clark, now Howard.
That was a bit too easy for mine, Jono. They just didn't attack the ball hard enough there, the Dockers, and lock it in. An easy exit.
Hold there, Travis. Play on.
Safe prepared to chip around the back line. To Wilkie. Beautiful user by foot. To Caulfield. A real spark in the game early.
Now, there's no overlap run at the moment. It's just keeping possession, controlling the ball.
They're sounding each other out, the two sides. Hill. Caught with the ball was Ryan. Now here's Fife to Walters. It was an interesting tap. Schultz always hits the footy hard. Steele back inboard.
Yeah, on Bradley Hill. So he just kicked the ball straight out of play. Tried to disguise it really well, Jared, but I'm with the umpire there.
Hamstring and calf issues at the start of the season for Akers, so great to see him out there in Fremantle colours. Ryan down the line. Good contest by Taberner. Drives the ball forward. Darcy's there and deep. Just too big at that stage for Marshall. And Sean Darcy can line up from directly in front.
Yeah, the question will be being asked, I reckon, by every St Kilda supporter, did he push him out with his hands, Jono? And he's got his hands in the back, which is not illegal these days, but if you push out, then that is illegal. It's a very interesting call, that one.
7 career goals to Sean Darcy. Lopes in on the left foot. It's a high ball. It's a good ball. Fremantle on the board for the first time in a major way.
Good ball movement that time by the Dockers. Like the fact that they were prepared to kick it to the contest. Darcy's a developing young player. He's got good hands. And on the back of a Taberner mark, they've gone grab, goal. So that's good signs for them.
At least he's pushing forward here, making Marshall come back and be responsible for him, not getting that intercept mark situation. Yeah, there's a little nudge there, Jared. So lucky to get away with that one, Darcy, but good finish in the end. What Fremantle did as well, once he kicked this goal, he was able to get back to the middle. They made it very difficult for Marshall just to stroll back to the middle of the ground. They blocked him, they put physical pressure on him. So just trying to add that other element of fatigue and make Marshall think about a few other things out there today.
29 games for Darcy, the most hit-outs of any ruckman that's ever played that many games. 864 for the big man, Jono.
Oh, it's getting up there.
Shoes to fill, replacing Aaron Sandlands, literally and figuratively. Marshall, that's nice. Immediately the Saints will get a centre clearance. Shallow entry inside 50. Only as far as Taylor Duman. As we said, he came in after Cox was out of the side.
And that's a good start to the game by him. He's anticipated it, he's read it well, and he's attacked the ball.
Taberner brings it to ground. Hill stripped of the footy. Caulfield wants to receive, but Walters cuts it off. Shoves it off the ground. Howard does well under pressure, clearing ball. And it lands nicely.
There was a little fumble there, but the umpire has given him the benefit of the doubt. You saw Geary against Michael Walters. Geary pushing him under the ball, got possession, but Walters ended up with it as well.
Go with him.
Long, he took an absolute hanger last week. You see some more of that this afternoon. There is King, sets himself, beautifully rowed by Butler. Picked it up perfectly from the big man. Driving ball forward. Battle can't take the mark. Out the back of the pack is Billings in a dangerous position off the ground. Whistle on play.
I believe it's a goal. I just want to check if the ball was touched off the boot.
Score review. Umpire's call is a goal. Please check if the ball was touched off the boot.
Review underway.
What do you think of this review, Jono?
Well, I think it's a goal. I think it's, from first look, it looked clear, but we'll see here with it being able to zoom in. Oh, there we go. That's a goal.
Clear
Review
in.
That's the
complete.
angle.
Looking at this angle, we can see the ball's kicked without being touched before going through. Decision on the scoreboard.
Oh, great start by the Arch, Jono. They're in form early.
I'll tell you who's in form early, and that's Butler.
Yeah.
And watch the way that he sets up here. King makes a great contest down the line, but Butler's front and square, hits it with speed, reads it off the pack, knows exactly where it's going to fall if King doesn't mark it, and then puts it to a dangerous spot with speed. Battle in the air, and Billings at ground level. Great goal, great setup by the Saints with that long ball down the line.
I know it's not rocket science, Jono, but I've got a question for you I want to ponder. I want you to ponder. I want you to give us your best thought. How can Dan Butler, who is the most influential player for St Kilda and has been all season, particularly forward of the centre, be given so much space? He is the one that the Dockers should be putting the time into.
Well, they should.
Hard tag.
But with situations like that, long down the line, it's slow. They're more setting up around the contest, not setting up on a man directly. And that's where players can get some freedom. That's where others can find it more difficult leading into spaces and those sort of things. But Butler, he capitalised on an opportunity where he had some freedom to produce, and look at he's produced all year, Jared.
His impact on the scoreboard is second to none. It's a big challenge for Hayden Young.
Mundy.
Touch ball, play on.
Low ball. Long attacks it. Sees something he likes straight down the middle of Metricon. Turns it over, though, to Wilson.
And that's where he's going to get better as he develops as a player. It was a bit of a hack kick. He turned it around. He could have done a drop punt. He could have maintained possession. You can't come off half-back and waste an opportunity like that.
Wilson kicks to a contest. Tabin has been pushed out by Caulfield. Advantage paid. Gee, they weren't sure whether they should take it. Banfield does now. Five's deep. He's outnumbered. And Wilkie just chops across.
That's why they shouldn't have taken it. 3v1.
Play on.
Forward of centre.
Long ball from Wilkie. It's a good grab from memory. Immediately distributes to the hard-running Jones. Breaks a tackle to Steele. Options are plenty now for St Kilda. Can he hit a target inside 50? King coming back is Kent. Runs into an open goal. Hits the post. Spins round. He's not sure what's going on. This will be interesting. Kent's claiming it.
I believe it's a goal. I just want to check if the
Hey, boy,
and
Dane,
or
you got to go.
before kicking through a goal.
Score review. Umpire's call is a goal.
Busy time.
Please check if the player ran the ball into the post.
Review underway.
It's a very cautious goal umpire. I think the first one was absolutely worthwhile. That one, he had a perfect
Review
view.
complete. Looking at this angle, we can see that player does not run into the post before he goes through and kicks the goal. Decision on the scoreboard.
Right start to the Saints. 3 on the board.
Overlap run off half-back, though. That was Membry's mark, and then he was able to get overlap run from Jones with that handball received. We hadn't seen that much in the early part of the game, but they get it to a dangerous spot again. And Kent was able to use his smarts there to evade Aish and kick a nice goal for the Saints.
Sheesh. Did a ball go over the line before that, Jono?
No, it was on the line. It's a goal.
And once again, the Saints are showing their absolute class inside the forward 50. Most efficient side going forward, and that's their. You want to have one knock. They don't get the ball in there as often as other sides, but when they do, they score big.
Because they've got representation down there. King rarely goes outside forward 50, and he always has a small around that contest as well, because he never gets outmarked. So it's always coming to ground. He's either taking it or he doesn't get outmarked and it hits the deck, so they can have a shot.
7 inside 50s for 3 goals straight.
So efficient work from St Kilda. They're going to get another clearance. With a free kick going the way of Jade Gresham. Doesn't mess around. King, he's been in a couple of contests. I reckon he'll get paid the mark here. It was big, strong hands. Got it on the second grab. And this is a man that excites St Kilda fans.
Yep, he's set up today. Wouldn't be surprised if he could put 6 goals on the board. No Griffin Logue, no Cox. There's no one his size out there. So if they can get him one out and they can get it up in the air, he's every chance to do what he's just done there. He's got really sticky hands. He knows how to operate in congestion as well.
Max King. That's the post. You'd be excited, Jono, as a St Kilda fan, watching that young man coming out of the goal square.
It's good, and Brett Ratton's coaching him so well, leaving him in the areas where he can dominate the game, and that's inside forward 50. Doesn't get up too high, doesn't get fatigued that way.
Nice grab by Battle. So St Kilda dominating in the early stages. Butler wheels round on the right boot. Freo have got numbers. A couple compete against each other. King does well at ground level. Here's an opportunity for Hill and Membry to the ground. Fremantle going very short to Young. That's not the required distance. He's got an issue. Loney's got him. Fremantle under all sorts of pressure in defence.
Aren't you, man, just wondering what went on there? I would wonder and ask him, why would you kick the ball 5 metres? And you saw Hayden Young there, who's come up with an injury. He almost reflexly stopped and said, I'll take a mark.
Fair hobble up. Young, he needs to get himself off the ground when the opportunity arises. What are you doing if you're Fremantle, Jared?
I'm starting to panic a little bit right now. This kid is one of the, I suspect he's just slightly sprained the syndesmosis. We just see it time and time again with the tackling, just like not getting their leg out.
Hill went for a little underground ball, might work to Gresham, puts it out in front of Billings, dangerous around goal. King hits the footy hard, brings it to ground. There is Billings to Loney, canny operator, bouncing.
It had that spin on it where it was going to kick up. I thought it might have got a bit of luck there, Loney.
So Young's getting things checked out. Simon Black will keep us updated on that shortly.
Sean, St Kilda. Thanks, Ron.
Oh, yeah, it just gets caught underneath, Jared. You're right there, because he was just a bit slow in his movement and got the arms free.
It's just a plague now, Jono. It really is. The tackling is so vicious and ferocious that the ankles are being exposed.
Geary, high ball inside 50. Off the chest of Kent. Wilson's under pressure. Loney. Kent was nearly through. Butler, so good around goals. Butler continues his wonderful start to the season. The former Tiger hits the board. St Kilda are flying.
Well, right now, Jono, this bloke is in the All-Australian side. He is that efficient inside the forward 50. Everything he touches turns to goal, and he is just unstoppable at the present time. And the Saints are getting it in there, and if you're going to play structural defence and you're going to leave this bloke by himself, well then, good luck.
That's it. He's got the Midas touch. Look at that. What a finish. But Loney at ground level again, that speed. Once it hits the deck, they're getting to work. They're busy.
Yeah, once again, a ground ball inside the forward 50. There's the fumble. Wilson fumbled. His man who put the tackle on. Butler delivers again.
Boys watching here. Don't push in, Blake.
So a great start here by the Saints. Just continuing their unbelievable efficiency inside the forward 50. Inside 50, Jono, 10 times. And they've scored on 6 of those occasions.
Having a spell. Fife back in the middle. Somehow manages to get it out, only as far as Jones. Hill. Playing against his brother.
Okay, boys. Don't give away a silly free kick. Rowan, it's a dead ball. It's a dead ball. It's a tackle. He's allowed to do that. Thank you, Rowan and Sean.
Come on, Rowan.
So last week's good news story with Brayshaw and Chera is right now one of the problems. Not getting any ball. Fife, Mundy, Walters not getting enough ball. So their whole engine room is spluttering.
Geary. Couple of goals last week. The skipper. Comes to ground. Ryan. There is Brayshaw applying a tackle. It just slapped out. Kent does well at ground level. Back towards Membry. Now Marsh. Low ball inside 50. Where are the St Kilda Smalls? Loney's one of them. Fife. Likes just to barrel it straight down the middle. There's not too many options, and Howard will mop that up easily.
You know, it's well set up behind the ball. Pressure on Fife. Here they go. They love the short kick, but they kick and they overlap.
It's a good passage by St Kilda. Ross, dangerous on the left boot. He's going to drop it all the way to the square. King nearly pulled it down. Jones is free. Snapping. Another one for the Saints.
King again involved, and he took an absolute ripper when the long ball came in from Ross. But what would please Brett Ratton, and why their setup is so strong, yes, they're getting some more freedom in their movement up the field, which is allowing the forwards to be a bit more chaotic in what they're doing. But once it hits the ground, Loney's worked hard for about a 50-metre run. He's the one who finishes. You got there
Great
with
handball.
Billings as well, and then Jones with the nice finish, who worked his way down the corridor.
And Brett Ratton rightly saying, which part of the 2.5-hour bus trip is affecting us right now? Big talking point throughout the week. A load of nonsense, and they're proving it to be.
As you said at the start, the way the Saints are going, it might be a nice bus trip back.
Yep.
Up to the Sunshine Coast.
And we've put our eggs in the Max King basket to kick 6, Jono. We're not happy with the 2 he's missed so far. 2 big opportunities.
Fremantle under siege at Metricon. 4 unanswered by the Saints.
And Michael Walters, arm hold.
Michael Walters, holding.
There's an opportunity for a centre clearance for Fremantle.
He's been their best player this year, Michael Walters, along with Nat Fife, as you'd expect. They need them to get going.
Mundy to Schultz. Here's an opportunity for the small man on the right boot. Right to the teeth of goal, another poster.
He won't be happy with that, Schultz. He's a good find for Fremantle, and he's generally a very good goal shot.
Yeah, feisty.
Yeah, he gives a bit.
Player, isn't he?
Yep.
Wilkie with that beautiful left foot all the way out towards the wing. Battle does well. Ross back to Battle.
Top 15, play on.
Gresham will need to get rid of this.
I like
He's
it.
run down from behind. Gee, it goes against Fremantle and Brayshaw. What do you think, Jono?
Oh, that was tight. And it went St Kilda's way, which most things have done in this first quarter, but they've created a lot themselves, St Kilda, with their run and drive. They're first in to the contest.
Cut off by Walters. Splits it back to Hill.
And this is the story with Fremantle. They do tend to go slow. Short kick, slow. Short kick, according to champion data, is under 40 metres. I think they need a stat, Jono, 20 metres and under.
The super short. Brayshaw. And gets away from Chera on the outer side.
But that's a little fumble there from Chera, who did not fumble at all last week.
Rowan.
So we spoke about that with him and himself and Brayshaw, and repeating that level. Well, repeating that level is minimising those mistakes that you make.
Marshall nicely down to Steele. Jones, Fife with the intercept. Stripped to the footy. Brayshaw. Schultz gets the hands up. Back to Fife. Evades a bit of traffic to Brayshaw. That's better from Fremantle. Can they hit a target? Inside 50. They can't in Darcy. Gets rid of Caulfield.
Ben. And the ball lets go and correct disposal, okay? Bailey, you've got the free kick, Bailey.
But that's better from Brayshaw around the contest. He's been involved the last 5 minutes. Couple of big tackles. Good receive from Fife on that occasion. Got it into a dangerous spot. Gave the forwards a chance. Their big forward in Darcy a chance as well.
Well, the message is clear from the umpires. Do not go for the football. Just don't go for it. If it's in congestion, knock it on, because they're not protecting you.
Darcy's kicked the only goal for the Dockers this afternoon. Hangs that one out to the left. You sound like you're getting frustrated, Jared.
Oh, I think the balance is tipped the wrong way. I mean, that was harsh, super harsh. There's no way known that kid could do anything else except knock the ball on if he was not to attract the free kick, and he made the mistake of going for the ball.
So what do you want to see happen?
Well, I'd like to see more opportunity, as we had prior to last week, for the guy attacking the ball. I mean, that was impossible for him to get rid of that football.
Tackled
Rory,
immediately
Rowan,
on
thank you.
taking possession.
Hold the meter, Rory.
I think overall the adjustment has been a positive, but there's still going to be errors made along the way.
Fife and Walters battling for the footy. It opens the door for Jones. Geary comes back.
I mean, I could argue that was exactly the same.
It's a good ball from Jones. Good contest, though, by Demand. Well done to Marsh. Deals it out to Hill. This is a man dangerous on the right foot. Look at that for a ball. Hits
Beautiful.
Membry on the 45. And Membry won't miss him there, you wouldn't imagine. Kick the opener of the match.
Beautiful kick indeed. Absolutely sensational kick to a guy at the top of the square.
15 seconds gone.
And the Saints on fire here at the present time. They're great to watch, the Saints. Let's hope the Dockers can provide them with some resistance.
Big man, the pride of Traralgon, lining up for his second goal. Membry directly in front. Beautiful kick of the footy. And St Kilda have got 6 in the first term.
Outworking and outnumbering at the contest on the wing here, and it just ends up, look, Fife and Walters take each other out going for the ball. But then from there, look at the run and look at the support that they've got for each other, especially through the corridor where it completely opens up. Caulfield was in a space for another handball receive if Zach Jones had changed his run angle. They fight hard, they scrap. Marsh to Hill and Membry, who just did not stop moving to get himself back into that position.
Superb execution there by Bradley Hill. That is just silver service and a good rebound goal by the Saints.
What are you doing if you're Justin Longmuir, Jared?
Well, I think all you can do now is hope that your senior players that are in the middle right now, I mean, they haven't got any better than this. You've got Fife, you've got Walters, and you've got Mundy. They've got a young ruckman in there, but all they want is an even share of the ball and get the ball inside forward 50.
30 points up in the first term, St Kilda. There is Fife to Mundy. Does well to get himself out of trouble. Splits it wide to Chera. Being forced to kick to a contest. Jones sends it back the other way. Well rowed by Chera, starting to make a bit of an impact on the game. Here he is again with a looping hand pass, but they run out of room, the Dockers.
Really good pressure here by the Saints, Jono. They're a tough side to work against, and you know they've only had one real lesson this year, and that was against Collingwood. They had the round 1 game against North wrapped up at half-time and let the 4 points go. Didn't battle it out with the Kangaroos. Got a lesson. I think they've grown from that.
Mundy to Fife. And as far as Clark. Another opportunity inside 50 for King. Gets pushed underneath it. Now there's a further opportunity for the Saints coming in hard. It was Hughes for Freo.
Yeah,
He's gone.
Once he went to ground with that ball, Hughes coming through the contest. He was always going to be under pressure for holding the ball. And the Saints knew it as soon as they jumped on top. They knew they were a massive chance to win the free kick.
Yeah, the technique really is the first bloke to bring him to ground once he's dived on it, and then everyone just piles on so he can't get it out. There's the first one. So he's now, once he's underneath it, he's going nowhere.
Right.
Let's get in there. Let's bury him.
Loney on the siren to make it a 7-goal term. There's a whistle. It's a goal. St Kilda have put through 7 in the first term, if you don't mind. They are dominating the Fremantle Dockers at Metricon. Saints playing some exciting attack football. They've slammed off 7 goals in the first term. 7-2-44. Fremantle, they've got their issues, 1-8. So it's the Saints leading by 36 points at quarter time. Wilkie, Steele and Hill Fife, as you would expect, alongside Walters and Chera leading the disposals for Fremantle. It was an interesting start to the game. I think it threw it all, Jono, when, well, Fremantle got the centre clearance and kicked the wrong way.
Yeah, they did not a great start to the day, and it set the tone for the first quarter in the end, hasn't it, from a Fremantle point of view, because it went this way, and after that, free kick was given to St Kilda, then a 50-metre penalty because Wilson kicks it away. So just not great from the outset. And look, they were able to kick the second goal of the game, Freo, but that was it. St Kilda got their run and drive going from that point. And for me, Dan Butler's had a huge showing in that first quarter, Jared. And Howie, I know you guys love the way that he played his footy at Richmond. He's bringing that exactly to the table here at St Kilda. Wilson doesn't do enough there to get to the front of the contest. His man Ace goes to the back of the contest just to cover it. And they've got Butler, who just flies through on a nice arc, dangerous spot, goal to Billings. That's how simple footy can be for these gun players if they're allowed to run.
But there is an element missing from Freo's game right now, and that is AFL standard pressure. We are seeing from St Kilda what is required, but from the Fremantle Dockers, it looks as if they've already got their heads on the plane going home. And they need to change this. There's still 3 quarters to go. You don't want to go from having your first win last week to getting absolutely thumped this week, Howie. That's not the way you want to get back to Perth. They need to find another way, get their heads back in this game, get their competitive juices flying again, and take it up to the Saints.
Inside 50s, 15 to St Kilda, just 6 to Fremantle. Wilkie, 7 disposals for the Saints, Fife 7 as well. We'll get to Simon Black shortly. Okay, what are you doing if you're Freo, Jono?
Well, you've got to chip away at it now. The pressure rating's got to go up around the ball. They need more effectiveness going through that bit of overlap run, but it's chipping away at this scoreboard. So, you know, at the margin, what it is at the moment at 36 points, needs to be 26 at halftime, and that's the way. You mightn't get it back straight away, but you've got to grind away now over the next 3 quarters.
It's back to basics, isn't it?
Yeah.
Get your pressure right and start winning some contested ball. Right now, for every time they get the ball, St Kilda are getting it almost double. They are just owning the ball. They're owning this match. It's being played in their coach's box. They haven't got anything really running for them at this stage, and gee, it'd be tough if you were that bloke playing in the forward line.
It's an exciting brand of football St Kilda bring to the table. I know a lot of people have been saying this is the way we want to see the game played. Do you see it that way, Brad?
I do, but they're holding positions more than any other probably team in the competition, especially, and I know their run off half-back at the moment with Long and through the wings, the link up with Hill and Billings is allowing that, but just the fact that they've got representation to kick to. They're never outnumbered in that forward part of the ground, so they can at least compete one-on-one. They give themselves a realistic chance every time they go forward to score.
Kicked 7 goals in the first quarter, and Max hasn't contributed yet, as in kicking the goal, John.
Yes, that's right.
So there's some upside there.
Well, he's competed extremely well. The fact that he doesn't get outmarked, and Loney and Butler, just absolute Billings love it at ground level. And then you add the flexibility and the running power of memory and battle as well.
Ace over on a Butler. You'd just like that to get a very short leg rope, Howie, and just strap it on and don't let him go.
That's it. Away we go in the second term. Freo got a lot of work to do. Another clearance for Freo going the way of Marshall. Now he's got to go. Takes a bit off the kick.
Interesting, though, he elected to go forward. It was actually not perfect, but he elected to go forward rather than backwards and sideways.
Patton inside 50. There is King. Well done by Ryan, just getting a fist on it before King snaffled it onto his chest. Geary, hooking ball. Gresham, right in the spot. Gee, it's looking easy at the moment for the Saints.
Yeah, it is. Their energy at ground level is absolutely phenomenal. And it's the bigs and smalls combining well together. But out of the middle of the ground with Marshall, you're right. So often we see a side will go straight to the wings for that easy kick or backwards. Just keep that ball pushing forward. He went, it was a dangerous kick in the end, but Ross did well to come across the contest with speed, kept it alive, and the results are really positive in their favour.
Pick 18 in the 2015 draft was Jade Gresham. Oh, it's not his best effort. Led off for Freo. Ryan plays on casually. Again, St Kilda go inside 50. Hill. It's a clever kick. Marsh is deep. Nice mark, though, floating across. Here's Hughes, a good aerialist.
Back to the 9 metres, thank you.
Fife. Comes to ground. Walters, head over the footy. Wilkie picks it up. It's to Ross, that don't argue. Fife's got him.
Umpire must have been blinded because he was chopped across the neck, but he got away with one there.
7 disposals in the first term for Nat Fife. Missed just a week with a slight hamstring issue.
So we'll see this a lot now from Freo. They'll try and take a bit of time off the clock, chip, possession football.
They produce something, the Dockers. Walters is a dangerous man. Looping handball, back to Walters. Does he have a shot? He does.
Well, he set it up well for himself. Looped the handball, as you called it, deliberate to get the 1-2 back. Just couldn't finish.
He was always looking for the 1-2, wasn't he?
Yep.
Wilkie in a little bit of trouble. Long, does well, picks it up, back to Wilkie. Shoves it on his foot to clear it.
Holding, St Kilda, arms around. Thanks, Brett.
Membry gets the free.
Hold there, please, Adam.
Hold on.
Thanks. Thanks, Jay. Got a meter.
Unusual kick, John.
A little strange from Tim Membry. He's normally a lot better than that.
Really need Fremantle to give us something here. It's looking like a run in the park. It's looking like a practice match for St Kilda. And the Fremantle Dockers are the only ones that can turn this around.
Simon Black's on the boundary. Simon.
Yeah, guys, news doesn't get any better for Fremantle with Hayden Young now into the room. So he looked like he might be done for the day with after receiving that nasty tackle in the first quarter with an ankle injury.
Thanks, Blackie. Not good news.
It is the real plague at the moment in AFL footy, the syndesmosis strain. I assume it is that. And you don't just go out for a week with that one.
You have to explain to us from your areas of expertise in a moment, Jared, exactly what it means. Because, gee, we hear it a lot. Every time you pick up the paper on a Monday, someone seems to have a syndesmosis. So what does it actually mean?
Well, the syndesmosis is a fibrous tissue that essentially wraps between your
Come out, Dan.
tibia and your fibula. And the two bones basically come together and form the ankle mortise. And if you ram your foot up into that ankle mortise, it splits the two bones apart and strains that syndesmosis. And it's a very, very unfortunate injury. It's not career-threatening, but it's certainly season-threatening if it's bad enough.
Why are we hearing so much of it? Did it just used to be called the ankle?
No, I think what we're seeing is just the viciousness, the ferociousness of the tackle and the tackling from behind, where players don't get themselves set. And then you get twisted to the ground and you can't get your foot out. So something gives.
Fife to Tucker. Get it back here, Fife to Darcy. Bewley sends the ball forward. Akers is in good position. Can he track it back? Anything to add to the medical diagnosis, John? Oh, no, happy there in the corner.
It was actually good just to sit back and listen. The experience that Jared has in those areas. And that explanation was spot on. It now puts it in perspective as to why players are more vulnerable with that type of injury.
Fife with courage back with the flight. Nearly reeled it in.
I mean, the whole issue with the syndesmosis is, do you have it operated on? I mean, obviously it's got to be bad enough to be out for a month or 2 months, but some go conservative and others go immediately to the operation, and that's a big medical call. But gee, it's bedeviling at the present time. The Giants last year, they had 2 or 3 or 4 syndesmosis issues, and it can rob you of another gear. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the Fremantle Dockers are starting to just wade their way forward. We need them to take a grab and kick a goal to get this thing underway again.
Stem the flow. Lob is normally good in a contested situation. Long looks at the boundary line and finds it.
Who's up? Rowan, Fremantle, who's
I think what we got to understand here, Jono, this is the 5th week that the Fremantle Dockers have been in the hub. So it's easy for us to sit here and say you've got to do this and you've got to do that. I mean, they are struggling with being away from home for a period of time. But you can either succumb to it or you can challenge it.
That's right.
Clark with a little chipping ball to Long.
And there's no doubt their talk would be to challenge it and continue on and try and get that second in a row. They would have a positive week. Not a positive start today, though. So now you find out a little bit more about whether the team is going to continue that team-based football, whether individuals stand up or whether the team collectively, or whether individuals do some things that are outside of the realms of what Longmuir's after.
They do get to go home. The Dockers, they take on West Coast back at home in front of a crowd next week, which would be fantastic. Clark bends it round his body. And as far as Hill.
Oh, Jade.
Be nice to see some crowds at the footy.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see 60, but our good friend, the Premier, he's decided to halve that crowd. So we're down to 30,000, which will be much better than, I guess, anything on offer in other parts of the country.
St Kilda defending, risky ball across the face of goal to Banfield. Now Darcy, who's kicked the only goal for Fremantle. He's second behind.
So the good news is they've at least had some territory, some repeat entries here, Jono. Good mark.
Yeah, they're working better on that exit kick for what St Kilda are trying to achieve.
And their pressure is better. The Saints are going, oh, that's better. That's the one they need to get it going. Get some repeat marks inside the forward 50, and the big man has finally got his hands on it. But the pressure is, you can see it in the kicking efficiency of St Kilda. In the first quarter, it was up in the high 70s. Now it's at 41%. And the Dockers' turnover rate is much lower. They're running at 83%.
Number 2 contested mark in the competition is Rory Lobb.
Likes this spot.
Desperately needed for Fremantle. Stuttering, almost Josh Kennedy style approach. Works though. Fremantle have got their second goal of the afternoon.
Well, it always comes down to the last 4 steps. That's all you worry about. The last couple, get that power in your plant foot and plant with some purpose, kick through the ball. And Rory Lobb got to that point eventually after the stutter. But it has been their ability to control the exits of St Kilda. The last 2 times they've tried to exit D50, it's been turned over. And now they get that ball back into a position where Lobb had a chance to take it at the highest point and go back and nail it.
And it's unusual, but it's effective. But the good news, if you're the Dockers, you're sitting at home and you're thinking, oh, is the game over or not? Well, they're starting to get some territory. Had the last 5 inside 50s. Some of the bigger names are starting to get them. Walters, Chera and Hill all getting some football. And that's the only path to redemption for them by half-time. They've got to just somehow get a couple of goals in a row.
11 disposals to Fife, 8 to Walters. The other side of the equation, Billings is leading the Saints with 10. Mundy paddles it out in front of himself. Brayshaw applies a tackle. This is better from Fremantle. Sarong's involved. And then Darcy, who's playing a great second term, sends another ball inside 50. Banfield won't be able to trap it.
And you can see that energy around that contested ball, Jono. It's certainly lifted.
Yeah, it's gone to another level, that's for sure. And they're not going to get back to even at half-time. But as we said before, it's just a chip away at the scoreboard. They're playing a lot better footy now.
The only goal of the term. Gee,
High contact.
one there, Darcy. He's having a good game.
Yep.
Whoa. Boys.
Yeah, you're right. He's been probably their best player in terms of what he's produced across the game so far, Darcy. So he copped a big hit there. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a big hit. They've already lost Hayden Young, Simon Black filled us in earlier, and oh, that's a big hit. So they lose Darcy now on the back of that. It doesn't look great. Oh.
He's going to be a bad loss. It's hard to see him coming back from here, but who knows? If he's not concussed, then he's a chance if nothing's broken.
Yep, best player on the ground at the moment for Fremantle. Darcy.
Back into it, guys.
58
umpires-
ranking points already.
Sorry, John, the umpire's talking about a report in the
I
background.
did hear that in the background as well, Howie.
Right now, thanks, guys.
We'll confirm that one way or the other shortly. It doesn't look good. Sean Darcy, hopefully he's okay.
Just hold up, Dino. We just got Trav Collier.
Footy.
So Rory Lobb, with Darcy going off the ground, was a likely replacement in the ruck. So he needs to sort of get busy himself now and try and help that momentum through the midfield, which they've been able to create in the first 10 minutes of this second quarter.
It was reported long in that instance. Sarong with a driving ball forward only as far as Caulfield. So long in the book for that bump, for want of a better term, on Darcy.
But that's the difference at the moment between the two teams. If it was down the other end, King brings that to ground and they fired on. Freo outmarked in a pack situation. So you've got guys that just need to bring it. Rory Lobb was in amongst all of that. He's just got to do everything he can to bring that ball to ground. Tabernar's the other one.
Jake and Matt.
You're going to have to restructure pretty quickly. Lobb has been in and out of the ruck throughout the afternoon, but Darcy's been doing majority of the duties.
So it means, as you just saw, Taberner will have to do a little bit of ruck work. Rory Lobb the other.
Thank you.
May have to go slightly smaller in the forward line. But what they can't afford to do is just drop their heads around the ball, because they've got St Kilda on the back foot to a degree. St Kilda haven't been inside their forward 50 for a fair period of this term.
Jake, Matt, same again.
And they may have just said to themselves psychologically, well, we've got this game won. I'll just put the cue in the rack a little bit.
And that's the fine line, because Fremantle would have copped that direct feedback at quarter time. And their motivation levels have gone up a cog.
Only one goal for the term. It was Lobb. Now Bewley in the yellow boots. Looking for a target inside 50.
Free kick to St Kilda. Ball's here, so we'll pay it here. Stop the ball.
Going away, Ross.
Move it on. Play on.
Well, evidently the free kick was against Carl. Against
Banfield holding Carlisle out of the contest.
Chair around the body to Banfield. Did he get one in the back? He did.
Fremantle on the full.
So a bit of positivity about the Dockers at the moment.
Right out.
Banfield doesn't fancy the distance. Chips it to the teeth of goals. A lot of wide players there. Schultz is at the back. Stayed down, kicks the goal. Freo have got the only two of the term.
Well done to Freo. I think Long has just lost his focus. He didn't go for the ball the last time he had an opportunity, and he's got himself in the book. And then on occasion, it was a sloppy attempt at a tackle, and that ball is rebounded. And a nice back-to-back goal situation here for the Dockers. Too many guys up, no one down at the back. The Saints have just lost a bit of energy at the moment. And that's all you can do. Get on the phone, pump him up. He's back on the board. Everybody out on the ground. This is the time where you need more than ever vocal players gearing each other, jeering each other up, geeing them up, in fact.
Darcy off the ground. So Lobb goes into the middle.
Right, St Kilda. Hold it, right, St Kilda. Yeah, I think it's good.
There's only 7 players on the ground for St Kilda that have had the ball more than twice in this term.
Gresham driving ball forward. There's your man, Jared. Geez, a tall unit up forward is Max King, and he marks directly in front.
He's very impressive. He's just got great balance, and he can operate when people are putting pressure on his run at the ball. You see there he's being buffeted. He was doing the buffeting as well. Got himself a clearance. I love his handball capacity as well.
Kicked multiple goals a couple of times this year, and he is on the board now as well. So a nice little steadier, for want of a better term, for the Saints.
I'm still on him for 6, Jono.
It's a big chance, don't worry, if you get some good ball but it's in the middle of the ground, and I think they got a little bit lucky here. I'm sure stepping outside of the circle, you're not allowed to do it to start your run-up. And that's what I know players do step out, and it's not called that much anymore, but Battle there got very lucky that that's not paid throughout the game, and they get the centre clearance, and look what happens. So a little bit of luck going back St Kilda's way.
Fine work from you, Jono. Fine work picking that up. The fact that the Saints player had his back foot out of the centre circle.
Well, watch this one. He's starting right on that line.
Here he is, the man of the moment. What a big unit. Imagine whether he put some muscle on.
Absolute, going to be a superstar.
Yeah, back foot out again, Jono. You're on the money. Playing the front foot rule here at Metricon.
No ball, you reckon? Clark.
Play on, your pick.
The dangerous Loney to Kent. Hooking ball. King bounced off his chest. He'll come again, Max. Has he got two in a minute? He has.
Missed it.
Kick the point.
That's 1-3. Or 1-2 and one drop mark from 10 metres out. So this could have been the start of a serious bag.
Yeah, G. Healy when King gets the ball and he rises up out of his chair.
He's up and about.
He's a good unit.
Hill. This time he's got it. Again, Jared's out of his chair. And a chance for a second goal for King.
That's the repeat entry, though, because of the way that flows then, as a forward, you love that because all of a sudden you get some time and space around yourself to move.
No one brings people to the footy more than superstar full forwards. And this bloke has the potential.
Max King from an angle. Misses.
That's 5 you should have had, John.
He's got penciled in for 12.
Yep.
Taken a pick 4, 2 before his brother Ben, who's also very exciting up on the coast.
Hold where you are.
Would have been a nightmare in juniors coming up against the King boys, wouldn't it? Ryan down the line. Lobb can't complete the mark.
Especially when one was at full forward and one was at full back.
Yeah.
You just turn the bus around, wouldn't you?
Yep.
We'll give it up for this week. Sorry, Jared.
That 5-7 possessions hasn't been a huge impact on the game, and it's just hard work at the present time. They've had their 10 minutes. Now the momentum has swung to St Kilda.
Marsh does well, gets away from the Mundy tackle. Right to the AFL logo. Hill plants himself underneath it, takes a good mark, wants to split it wide immediately and does. Can they get some run here off the wing region Freo? Out in front of Taberner. Howard will just track it across the line.
Jonathan Marsh has been an interesting inclusion for the Saints, Jono. Said he had a trip to Collingwood for memory and was okay, went home. Margaret River boy for memory.
Thanks,
and he's settled in pretty well.
Oh, he's been good. His first quarter was very good as a taller midfielder at the moment, but competing at ground level. Set up a couple of goals.
Darcy Tucker free kick, clear jumper hole.
Darcy Tucker free kick. Back here, thanks.
Thank you, Jade.
Darcy behind you, Mark here, thanks. Come on, back on. Give it on. Play on.
Disposal 6 for Tucker. Again, Fremantle can't bring the ball to ground. That's exactly what you're talking about, John.
Well, the one that did come to ground, and that was a mistake by St Kilda with too many up. They scored with Schultz. The two prior to that, they've been outmarked.
Yeah, that's a good exit kick. Into space, took some territory.
Jones to Long, sweeping hand pass. Jones has run all the way through. He'll receive it again here. Wobbles the ball forward. Worked nicely for St Kilda now. To Kent, inside ball. But it's cut off by Simon Black's on the boundary. Simon.
Yeah, guys, Sean Darcy still in the rooms, looking unlikely to rejoin the game this afternoon. He will join Hayden Young on the sidelines for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's disappointing. So if you're just joining us, Young's got an ankle issue and Darcy copped a nasty knock. You can imagine he's probably battling concussion. Hopefully both those gentlemen are back in business pretty soon. Tucker with a bit of rare space. Casual kick inside 50, hits Collier. Jav Collier, rare possession this afternoon. That's a good ball into the pocket to find Taberner. Going to play on, hook it round his body. It's a good effort, it's a great effort. Freo get their third of the term. They're hanging in the Dockers.
Yeah, the movement from Tucker, I think, has been quite solid again for Fremantle with what he produces week in, week out. And he was able to use the ball well a couple of times on that occasion. Link up, get the 1-2. And Collier here. Carlisle goes off him to take the corridor. And they just couldn't set themselves up behind the ball. You can see the disappointment there in Wilkie. But if it's going to go to any spot to get marked against it, you don't mind it going into the pockets, but it was too good that time, Taberner.
Here's Hayden Young, out with an ankle issue from the first term. Still no signs of Sean Darcy. Good little period for Fremantle though, Jono. They gave up 7 goals in the first term. They kicked 4-1, 3-1 in the second.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what we're, in terms of just chipping away at that score. It's back to 25 points now, and if it can stay around that mark, they go in at half-time, well and truly in the contest.
Tucker, another clearance, starting to get busy. The number 18 drops another ball forward. Can Freo get another one? They can't. Carlisle puts paid to that. Dumps into the middle of Metricon. Fife, not far off the footy. Lob goes that way now. Gets it to Bewley from 35. This is what Fremantle need, and they've got it. Here come the Dockers.
Pretty much straight from the centre clearance, Jono. They just hunted the ball really well. Double chance, just rebounding off that first possession from the Saints. And just a chain of handball. And I think he was entitled. I thought Taberner was a bit stiff initially not to get a free kick around the neck, but there's the turnaround, and they just hunted the ball really well. Instant handball there from Brayshaw, sets it up.
Basic footy you call for just at the start of this second quarter. Got to get the basics right. They fumbled a little bit in the first quarter. That's basic footy at its best.
Yep.
Clean, spoil by lob, clean below his knees, picking it up. Effective handball by 2, goal.
Jason Dunstall and Nick Riewoldt to join Sarah Jones at half-time. Saw Nick came in on his bicycle in the Lycra today.
Yes.
Didn't see Jason in the Lycra. Couple in a row to the Dockers. 4 goals to 1 for the term. It was 36 points at quarter time. Narrowed back to a 19-point lead.
Push in the back, Fremantle.
It's an interesting move, Brad Hill onto Walters. And Walters hasn't had a big term by any stretch of the imagination. He's had just 2 possessions. Brad Hill's only had 3, and I think St Kilda will be trying to find a way for him to get into the game.
Walters.
Rory Lobb was very sore behind the ball as well. Can't afford him to go down as well.
Brayshaw decides to split it round the 50. Aish, can he hit a target inside 50? Sets it up for the big man. Falls towards Bewley, gets through him. Taberner to Walters. Things definitely starting to go Fremantle's way.
They are, but well done to Taberner then, because he just got to handle it, but it brought it to ground. And when that happened, they're up. Their energy's high at the moment. They make a good comeback. Walters wins the free kick. That'll need to be assessed at half-time as well. Here you've got Lobb, who's hurt his ankle in the middle of the ground about a minute ago.
Little handoff here.
Does that now to Wilson, right to the top of the square. Good grab out the back by Fife. The skipper stands up when his team needs him. Leading all possession winners, Fife with 14. Just to make it 5 in the term for the Dockers. Fife plays on, makes no mistake.
Jono, this shouldn't be underrated. This is a really courageous fight back by the Fremantle Dockers. They've got 2 injured on the bench, and now it looks as if Lobb is also injured.
Oh, yeah.
He's taken his eye off his teammate, and he's rolled the ankle, so he's got a strained lateral ligament of some description. When this was just a long kick to the top of the square, went a bit too far. This bloke is a star. We love watching Nat Fife play. 8 possessions and now a goal in the term. But to get themselves back into a challenging position is what you said that they should be focusing on, Jono. And they've done it despite the fact that they're 2 and possibly now 3 men down on the bench. Great effort.
Saw Geelong do this the other night against Brisbane with Narkle and Duncan out with hamstring issues. Had a powerful second half.
And this is the Saints' pressure. Look at it. They're a totally different team.
Yep.
Totally different.
198 it was.
They're sitting back thinking, we have done the job. We've got 4 points in the bag. We're on the bus home.
7 goals to 1 in the first term the way of the Saints. Now it's 5 to 1 the way of Fremantle. Steele looking to do something about that. Dropping a ball inside 50. Here's an opportunity for the Saints and Gresham. High ball camped underneath his memory. Comes to ground. Hughes can't really clear the area with the ball.
Been a bit of a crackdown on in the back, I reckon, during the week. I think Hayden Kennedy might have put the push in the back rule up on the board. Certainly been an overdue correction.
Play on.
Demand with a free kick. Cox a late out for the Dockers. Battle. Underground hand pass. To Hill. Accelerates. Back to Battle. Lines up for 45. It's touched. Chera looks to clear the defensive zone. He's dumped it out on the full.
Last week we knew there was a big increase in holding the ball. Decisions up by 50%. Well, there was a 25% reduction in the back, so I reckon they may have corrected that so far.
And the Saints snaffle a late goal in the shadows of half-time. The Dockers defending with all their worth. Does spill free. Clock continues to drop. That's a big turn by the Fremantle Dockers. They gave up 7 in the first. They kicked 5 to 1. It was 36 points at quarter time the way of the Saints, but Fremantle have narrowed that now to just a 13-point margin. They've got issues though. Young is out of the game with an ankle, and it looks like Darcy's got an issue with concussion, so they're 2 men down. Lobb's got an ankle, but Fremantle are back in this one at Metricon. Saints led it by 36 at quarter time, but a 5-goal to 1 turn by Freo has narrowed the margin to 13 points. However, Darcy is out with potential concussion. Young is out with an ankle, so they are 2 down on the bench. The Fremantle Dockers, Jared Healy, Brad Johnson. It was a nice first half of footy.
Yeah, in the end it was. It got very competitive there in that second quarter. Fremantle making the jump back. And Nat Fife starting forward, Jared. So therefore, in the middle of the ground, Walters and Mundy, Brayshaw and Lobb. They have to get it done. Get it down to 5. Give him first look at it.
Well, the bottom line is it all depends on how many times you get in that forward 50 to justify keeping Nat Fife out of the goals, out of the centre square. They did it last week without Fife, so he'll be just throwing the challenges at the younger players, one of which is on screen, and saying, OK, back up, and we're still in this, despite the problems they've got on the bench.
Lobb had an ankle issue himself going into the half-time break, but he's strapped up and ready to go. 13-point lead to the Saints to begin the second half at Metricon. Marshall immediately to Gresham. Wobbles the ball forward. King had plenty of opportunities in the first half. Managed to keep it in. Funny little kick. Eventually it's ruled as across the line.
Rory, Rowan.
1 goal, 3 to Max King in the first half. Jones, hurried kick, shoves it forward. Just in front of Ryan. No injury concerns for the Saints as the skipper has a spell on the bench. Lob to Bewley. Now Aish with a driving ball down the outer wing.
That's the one Taberner needs to work on a lot, I think, in terms of that craft work. When he's caught underneath with the defender coming back on him. He missed one in the first quarter where he had a chance to really body under to take that mark going back. That one there just needs to be a bit more physical with his defender coming back into his space.
Well, to his credit, Jono, I think he's improved this year as a mark, much more one grabber. Started the season a bit slowly with a couple of two grabbers, but I think he's making some gains.
Hill measures the ball only as far as Caulfield. Do you like 5-4 with Gerard?
Well, if you had the ball coming in there, he's a fantastic player forward. He's not the best kicker. I think we all understand that, but it's a question of how many times it goes in there.
He might get an opportunity now. Collier and his Taberner out in the pocket.
I like him resting there rather than resting on the bench, though. So in those shorter quarters, it makes common sense to me to have him on the ground all the time. And given that they've got a very restricted bench, I think everybody's going to basically play the rest of the game out.
He's kicked one already, Taberner. Hooked it from the other pocket. Swings around to open the angle. Gee, it's a pretty good effort. It's a really good effort. Perfect start to the second half to Freo. Taberner's got two.
Well, this is just a brilliant piece of work by the Dockers. Since quarter time, they have really steeled themselves. They've taken up the challenge, probably sparked on by one of their blokes being KO'd in what was a very average act. And I think, Jono, they're just hunting the ball a bit more. Guys like Collier, who haven't been in the play much, are starting to get some football. And right now they're within striking distance.
They bridge the gap in contested possession, uncontested possession. So that was a huge gap at quarter times in St Kilda's favour.
4 in a row and 6-1. It's a pretty good result by the Dockers.
Gave up 7 goals to 1 in the first half, Fremantle. The first quarter, in fact, up by 36 points at quarter time. Back to a 7-point game. Seems to be okay on that ankle. Mundy overruns it. It's a second attempt. Uses his strength over the footy. Gresham, another clearance only as far as Marshall. Jones will get that clearance now. Membry. Demand. Boundary line beats them both.
So Geary off the ground, who was charged with putting a loose stop on Walters for a period of time. Just looking for a roller play right now.
Play on.
Slick chain of hand pass by the Dockers. Get them clear of their defensive zone. Big fly by Schultz. Long, who may have an issue, was reported for his hit on Darcy earlier on in the first half. Caulfield eventually gets the handball away. Fremantle Dockers pressure has lifted enormously in the second period of the game. Now Banfield wants to get on the left. Clever little ball, hits Walters.
Jack, go back to him, please. Stay up, Max.
The Dockers goal kicking 5 of the last 7 years as Michael Walters wants an option and finds an option in Hill.
Yeah, that pressure you spoke about has lifted. And during that passage, it was the fumbles from a couple of young Saints that Fremantle been able to really work towards in creating that positive football back in their favour.
Stephen Hill right on his distance. Runs in, unloads. It's a good-looking ball. Doesn't quite have the legs.
Right out, blue dot, let's go. Right out, please, Dougal.
One-goal game.
Run, boys.
Play on. You.
Wilkie from fullback. Kent sets himself. Jones battles away, can't get clear. Ryan shoves the ball forward. There is Fife. It's going to land in vacant territory. Fife, Wilkie. Fife keeps it in front of himself. Wilkie bustles himself across the line and takes Fife with him.
Good challenge for Wilkie. He's been one of the very best defenders in the AFL in the last 4 or 5 weeks. So this would be a big scalp if he could keep him contained.
Play on.
Fremantle continue to push.
Play on, it's out.
Collier releases the footy. There's Geary back on the ground now. Marshall, hands and knees. A lot of players around the footy. Walters goes in low and hard.
He's up. Jake. Fremantle, Matt. Jake and Matt. Hold the meter.
Important stage of the game. Carlisle in the ruck to Steele. And he goes as far as Bewley. Back to Walters. Does well, keeps it in. Bewley ducks his head, needs to release the footy, does now. Comes to Brayshaw. Mundy wants to get onto the boot. Good defensive pressure from the Saints.
And I think you're right, he should have gone for the boot. Just handballing back into that pressure zone, puts his own teammate under. He just had enough time, I think, to launch it to the top of the square, Mundy. But the heat's on at the moment.
Intensity's lifted, hasn't it, Jared?
Both sides. I think Fremantle in the second quarter were really good. St Kilda in the first, and right now they're both having a crack.
Quick snap out of the pack. It's good. Fremantle have got another one. It is all square at Metricon.
Well, they got the little quick kick out of the pack you were talking about, Jared, which then allowed Banfield to attack it in front. And he creates a contest. He doesn't win the ball, but it spills out to Tucker. And it's just a little kick forward here, just to keep things going. Gets it out of that pack situation. Banfield with the tap out. Smart play to get a hand of that. Tap it to the advantage of Tucker.
Yeah, it was a good pick-up. Tucker's been one of their best today.
Yep.
One of his better games for the Dockers. Yeah, nice smart snap around the corner, as you said, Jono. Get that ball outside of the bubble, get it moving. And Tucker continues his impressive day.
This is huge. What a fight back. Enormous. They were gone at quarter time. They did not look like it, Fremantle. To respond the way they have has been absolutely huge.
7 of the last 8 goals after they gave up 7 goals in the first term. They've got 2 men out of the game on the bench in Young and Darcy. And they've got it all square after trailing by 36 points at quarter time, Fremantle. Now it's the Saints that need to respond. Ball to be won. Chera bustles it forward to Walters, who's becoming influential. Left foot ball. Banfield can't take the mark. Clark hits a target in Billings. King gets hands to it. I just seem to have the answers at ground level at the moment. Cheryl looked to be across the line. Umpire said play on. Now Marshall knocked down as he kicks. Inside 50 ball, tough one for the forwards.
Yeah, they are. They're doing better work around the contest, Fremantle, on the small dynamic players. Butler, Loney, Kent, the ones who love hitting front and square. Billings with some sort of speed. It's better body on them with the high, slower ball coming in.
Kicked the last 5 of the match, Freo. Only 2 of the second half. Marsh having a run in the ruck versus Lob. Fremantle spiral out of defence. Nice work by Taberner to Tucker. Brayshaw does well, shrugs the tackle. Nice overlay run by the Dockers. Sarong can hit a target inside 50. Fife brings it to ground. Collier hits it hard. Down towards Bewley. Off to Sarong, right foot ball. Fife's deep, running back with the flight. Battle does well. St Kilda now under all sorts of pressure. Collier comes a second time. Patton, Clark. It's a nice bit of skill in a tight space. Clears the defensive area, but not for long. The Dockers come again. Aish had a bit of time. Just sent it straight up the chimney. Walters back with the flight. Courageous effort. Here come the Dockers again. Tucker again. St Kilda clear their defensive area. Good footy at Metricon. Membry's legged. Umpire says play on. Lob has got over the ankle issue. Sends a ball deep forward, but out on the full. But nice intensity in this one now.
Yeah, both sides really have lifted around the ball. Right now, Dockers are doing it slightly better than the Saints, and the Saints need to find some cleaner ball inside the forward 50. You can just see there the result. It's both at the top of the table.
And his first quarter was all St Kilda. Second quarter was Fremantle now. Now the fight's on.
Really blown up the system, the pressure now.
Yes.
Tucker to Walters. Hurried snap out of the pack. Fife's deep in a dangerous position, but Carlisle's got the 2-on-1.
Yeah, he did well fighting back Carlisle to outnumber. But the Saints are actually having to play this pretty much inside Fremantle's forward 50 at the present time. And they have restricted that free-flowing St Kilda ball that created so much damage in the first quarter.
Gresham works his way through it. Long hand pass to Ross. Puts it under his arm. Run down from behind.
And look where Brayshaw comes from to make that effort. He's battling on the boundary line and then works extremely hard to get to that point. That was huge from Brayshaw.
A big game last week, Brayshaw. Slowish start, but he's up to 11 disposals.
Nace has been sitting there for 5 minutes waiting. They're not too concerned about that. This is the Fremantle style when they get the options. Just chip it forward.
Play on.
Bewley wheels onto the left with a low, spearing, dangerous ball. Spills to ground. Fife wants it from Taberner. Geary under pressure. Collier trying to find space where no one else can.
Brayshaw putting together another really good day for the Fremantle Dockers. Jono, he's getting a rest now, but he's really returning to some terrific form in the last few weeks.
Walters tries to step a couple of tacklers. Battle gets his man.
David, let him get the ball. David, let him get the ball. Come back on. Fine. Oh, David. Move it on.
Play on.
King, long way from home. Drives the ball forward. A couple of Fremantle players run into each other. Lob stays down to Aish. Nice little step. Measures a ball. It's a good ball.
Hold, clear out, Max.
Taberner waiting for his teammates to flood forward. Got over the back of everybody. Caulfield to Battle.
Hold, Max.
To Taberner.
Hold, Jake. East-west.
Well, the Saints have just forgotten how to score, Jono. They've scored 1 goal, 3 in nearly 2 quarters.
They've lost that overlap run from half-back.
Taberner, Walters, ground level. Collier, little sliding ball, big fly and good grab from Sarong. Little man took to the sky and he will line up to give the Dockers the lead, Jono.
That was powerful. Huge leap from Sarong.
Really highly rated draftee last year, Jono.
Yep.
You had a bit to do with him early in the piece.
The double pump there, just a little extra lift in the air to get himself up. Great grab.
Nice time to kick your first AFL goal. Co-captain of Vic Country at the under-18s, Caleb Sarong trots in, kicks his first goal and gives the Dockers the lead.
But just one of the great fight backs that we've seen this season. It's been an unusual season, but given they're down on the boundary line, down on personnel, a couple of injured players out for the game on the bench. They're 7 goals down at one stage during the match. This is just an incredible fight back, and St Kilda have blown up 4 points once in round 4, and right now, if things don't change, they're about to blow up another.
The other impressive thing about that mark was he started in line with the initial contest at 50 metres. So he worked that 20 or 30 metres with some speed, got himself into that position for the double pump jump. And what a grab.
Double pump jump. Just have a look at the score worm. At its worst, down to 36 points at quarter time. This is with 2 men out, injured on the bench. And Young and Darcy will take no further part. Brayshaw back to Sarong. Fremantle and everything at the moment. Sends the ball forward. Comes out the back to Fife. Does brilliantly to pick it up to Banfield. He's got a bit of space. Didn't want to get the snap away himself. Went back to Tucker.
Oh.
Dragged it in.
Well, you've got nowhere to go when they drag it in. The umpire's got no other option but to ping you.
Come on. 10 metres, guys. Thank you.
Bailey, just come 10 metres to your left. Right.
Bailey Banfield gets the free kick. Jared, this is to kick Fremantle's 7th goal on the trot.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? Given where these two sides were assessed coming into the match. Quarter time, the scoreboard said the game was over. The bench said the game was going to be really difficult given the injuries. And yet they've ignored all that. The Saints have put the cue in the rack and Fremantle have exploited it.
Bailey Banfield trots in.
It's never been one of his great strengths, and that's something that just has to get better, obviously.
You've got to make the distance, Jared, from 20 metres out.
Battle.
So is that the let-off for the Saints to go at the other end and really make it hurt?
Really good point.
Marshall and Lobb do battle. Marshall gets it down to Steele. Battle. High ball forward. Marsh in a dangerous position. Well played by Demand. Does nicely to Hill. Fremantle playing with confidence now. Hughes splits it out wide.
When the Saints and Brett Ratton would have told everybody who's playing today, this is what they're going to try and do. If you press up, they will try and chip it around. So you don't want to give them that extra couple of metres because they'll hit that target every time, and now they're out.
Bewley manages it nicely. Good aggressive hand pass from Lobb. Finds Chera. Sends a long ball deep forward. Getting in front, Taberner punched away from him. Has a second attempt at ground level. Now Walters arrives on the scene. Saints defenders being held up. Need to get rid of the footy. Schultz has got his man.
You heard him saying there, the umpire, it's a perfect tackle. So even if you haven't got prior opportunity, the way it's being interpreted is if you've got a ball in one hand, you've got to make an attempt. If you let it go, then you're going to get pinged. So clearly, in that congestion, game saying don't pick it up. Knock it on.
Lachie Schultz, mature age recruit. Last year, half woeful, half AFL. To open up a 2-goal lead to the Dockers.
Gee.
Missing opportunities 2 in a row.
Right. That's not like him. He's usually deadly.
Yeah, they had the spark of Sarong kicking his first goal. Everyone's up and about. Now Banfield and Schultz with 2 easy misses.
Three-quarter time can't come fast enough for the Saints.
The next goal can't come quickly enough. It's just been a desert.
7 in the first term, though, Jared. It's incredible.
Yep.
Here come Freo again through Brayshaw. Drops it to the hot spot. Fife competed well, brought it to ground. Wilkie read it best. Want to hit the deck. Long ball down the line. Wilson delays the hand pass. Brayshaw can get a real piece of it by hand.
Downfield here. That's high contact.
Yeah, it was a knock after the ball had been released, and this one they've got to make they've got to make this one count, Jono. 3 in a row really does suck the energy out of the group.
Missed 2 opportunities in the last couple of minutes with set shots, the Dockers. So Tucker now. Would have kicked a goal this term. Right on 50. A third opportunity goes begging.
Clear.
Gee. What do you think of the downfield, Jared?
Clear.
Well, it didn't look much in it, did it? But clearly his fist in his chin, but he made the most of it.
Got tangled up a bit, didn't they? The Saints under all sorts of pressure defensively. Billings, back flank. Demand tracks it back. He's happy to see it across the line.
He's been solid today, Juman, coming into the side. And he's played his role perfectly for Fremantle. Here's another look at the hit. Comes through there. Just a little clumsy.
Where the Saints have been restricted is they haven't had that free ball into the forward 50 where it's just been an open space. They've had to actually get through a bit of a congested defence. They've got their numbers back pretty well, Fremantle. And they've rebounded much better than St Kilda.
Aggressive kick from Banfield to Akers. Takes a bit off it. Schultz. Unlucky not to get a free kick. Got one round the mush. Umpire says play on. Remember, he wants options forward. Haven't kicked a goal this term. The Saints have kicked 3. Hughes tracks the ball back, as does Hill. Does well to keep the ball in play. It's a good hit on the outer side. It's 25 seconds on the clock. Ryan wants to slow it down. If you're just joining us, St Kilda led this by 36 points at quarter time. Freo have got 2 men done for the day, in Young and Darcy. And they've kicked the last 6 goals of this match. Need to get it moving in a big hurry now. Looks like they're going to run out of time. In the hands of Walters. Big turn by the Dockers. They trail by 13 at half-time. They go into the final break, 8 points up at Metricon. We've got a beauty coming in the final term. Triple Brownlow medalist. It's a fair signing. Tony Lockett won for Saints fans there. Incredibly, after St Kilda led this by 36 points at quarter time, they trail by 8 points at 3/4 time. You look at the last 10 scores, they were absolutely dominating. There could be a couple more in front. The Dockers, they missed a couple of opportunities in front. They've kicked the last 6 goals of this match. A couple of incidents in the match. We won't see any more of Darcy, Jared and Jono, the big ruckman, Sean Darcy. Looks like he's dealing with concussion issues. It was a pretty big hit he copped earlier on.
Yeah, it was a huge hit when Long came through and just hit him flush. So we'll have a look at that here. Darcy was playing good football too, and just Long going past the ball and
he's going to spend a couple of weeks to 3, even 4, according to some out. And that one, not sure that's going to cost him. It looked a bit sloppy, but didn't look like it had much intent in it to me, Jono. But that first one, that is going to be a pretty sizable suspension, I suspect. Just looking at some of the blokes who aren't getting the ball for St Kilda, though. Brad Hill, he's on the big money. He's going okay for St Kilda, but this is a sort of game that he needs to drag him across the line with. And if he doesn't start the fire and Seb Ross doesn't start to get the ball, too little is left to, or too much is left to too few. And you've got young kids coming in, kicking their first goal. This is an inspired opposition they're now facing Fremantle.
Oh, it certainly is. They're up and about, and they let themselves down in the last 2 minutes with 3 easy set shot misses on the back of that goal from Sarong, who's just going to start this last quarter on the bench.
And they did that remarkable effort in the third quarter with their captain, Fife, just 2 possessions coming out of the goal square. So how they use him in this term will be interesting. It looks like it's more of the same, Howie.
Are you happy with him staying forward, Jared?
Well, if they continue to pepper the scoreboard like that, yes. I mean, why would you change?
What about you, Jono?
Yeah, I am as well, because he doesn't allow the defence to set up. They can't zone off as effective when someone of that quality is patrolling inside forward 50. So I like it. They've got their shape around the contest a lot better, Fremantle, since quarter time. And maybe they're just looking after their champion as well, making sure that coming back from the injury that he did have, that you know, he's playing at the right load level.
Zach Jones was the other interesting one. Did a lot of warm-up, was talking to the physio. You can see him on centre wing there. Missed last week with a soft tissue injury. Back today. and has looked to be running pretty well, but at three-quarter time he did a lot of work with the physio.
All right, game on the line at Metricon Stadium. The Saints need to answer. Freo have banged through the last 6 majors of this match. They lead it by 8 points. Going into the final quarter, 2 men down on the bench, the Dockers. It'd be a famous win for that football club if they could manage to pinch this one. And a quarter to go. Good start by the Saints. Steele sends a ball deep right to the goal square. Good fist away from Duman. At ground level, the Saints have got the numbers. Outside of the foot. There's a behind for Billings. Ryan doesn't mess around. It's an aggressive kick to hit Brayshaw.
Play on. Hold, Zach. Hold. Play on.
You really want the Saints pressing up. I mean, they should not be able to hit that tip.
No.
They do. Aish immediately gives it to Walters. Down to the feisty Schultz. That's a good grab over the back of Hill. They've got options inside 50. Lobs all on his own. That's a good hit.
That's great football by Fremantle. I mean, it's slow and laborious outside of the forward 50, but if the Saints give them the option, they're taking it. And they're doing it with great precision.
It was that second kick to hit up Aish. That was the one that was able to open this entire passage of play up.
Rory Lobb kicked the opening goal of the second term. Is to make it 7 in a row for Fremantle. It was the stuttering approach we saw effectively, not so effectively this time. That's 3 or 4 set shots that we got away from them.
Yep, the last 4.
And if they lose this match, it will be those set shots that will cost them. Not endeavour. Since quarter time, they've been quite superb. Not strategy. It's just the simplicity of hitting shots that you need to take.
Saints who kicked 7 goals in the first term. Their last goal came at the 16th minute mark of the second quarter.
Yeah, what's of more concern rather than the kicking of goals is the ease with which Fremantle's moving the ball. It just doesn't look to me, Jono, as if they're pressing up hard enough, working hard enough to maintain the ball inside their forward 50.
Well.
Ross, an unusual hand pass, doesn't clear the area. There's a second attempt at it. Lobb hacks the ball forward. Akers behind the pack. Long with speed. Loops it out to Howard. He's turned it over to Collier, the zippy little man, chips in. He's got Taberner deep. Feist deep as well. Trav Collier. I think he's going to go for home. He elects to put it right into the pocket. Banfield just floats across. The St Kilda defender had sun in his eyes, and Banfield snaffled it.
He did, he couldn't see it.
Yeah, I think Banfield had sun in his eyes as well. I think everyone's waiting there for Feist to come over the top, or Taberner. And he started the rot, this young bloke, with missing goals, so maybe you can turn it around.
Plays on with the blue boots. Bailey Banfield. That's a wonderful finish. Freo get the opener of the final term.
And isn't that football to it too? You miss one from 20 metres out directly in front, Jono, and then you nail one from the boundary line.
That's right, but look at Banfield. He's just moving around everywhere, and the chip comes into the pocket here. Keep an eye on number 41 for Freo. Wilkie 44. He gets blinded, can't see it.
Great kick by Collier up into the sun. New tactic.
Wilkie was caught out by the sun. Banfield kicks his first goal. 7 in a row to Fremantle. All of a sudden, it's a 13-point margin. St Kilda just can't get their hands on the footy, Jared.
Well, I think they've got to change up the mix in the middle of the ground. It's just not working at the present time, so it's too late at the end of the match to say we should have done this and we should have done that. Now's the time to have a different mix.
Marshall. Nicely down to Clark.
That's one.
Chera and Geary. Chera slaps it to Bewley.
Thanks, Rory. Thanks, Rowan.
Max King kicked a goal on the 16-minute mark of the second quarter. That was the last time the Saints managed a major. Walters, clever hand pass to Bewley, back to Mundy. Here's an important ball to be won in the middle of Metricon. It is all Fremantle though. It's shoved forward, Tucker, Carlisle.
Hi, St Kilda, advantage.
Advantage will be paid to Long. Can they get some run off half back now, the Saints? Marshall, loping run, turns it straight over to his opposition ruckman. Lobb wants to move it quickly. That's a good ball to Schultz. Falls over, he'll come again, the pocket rocket. Low slider inside 50, and he's turned it over.
Not sure Fife is right. He just then, you know, everyone else is charging around, but he's just sort of jogging in the background.
Oh.
Jones. That's an aggressive kick, too aggressive. Some turnovers in the last couple of minutes. Now Brayshaw.
Dan, stay out.
He's had a good day. That's disposal number 17.
Hold down.
Hold Dan.
The bloke that they've put the clamps on is Dan Butler. He's had just 3 possessions, all in the first term. So he really has been not effective, a non-factor, and he's been their best player this year.
Walters sets himself and gets it across the line. Simon Black is down there. Blackie.
Yeah, guys, just the effort and intensity by St Kilda's side at ground level has really dropped away, as you can see, and you've mentioned. They really need someone to spark them to get back in this game.
Just to see where that spark comes from.
Play on. Play on.
Ross gets his hands above the tackling Walters. Needs to get this up. Ross will be in trouble. Walters wants to go. He's forced to go now. Chips it inboard, gets over the back of Mundy. Marshall, Steele, Long. Now Patton, back to Steele. Maloney.
Thanks, David Holt.
There's no run, Jono.
No, they've not. That's where, in that first quarter, that was all that overlap. Get to that point, Long had kept going, and he'd get an overlap run.
That's because Fremantle have just totally locked
They have,
off.
yeah.
They've upped their ante. They're doing particularly well in turning the ball around. St Kilda just simply can't penetrate.
No, they can't.
Only 13 points down, though, the Saints. There's plenty of time. Just need a goal to spark them. Walters wants one coming the other way to deliver the knockout blow. Falls to Collier. Can he hit a target? Umpire calls play on. Again, Steele clears the defensive area, but struggling to get it past centre wing at the moment, the Saints. Now Membry.
Now we get this boundary throw in, and this is where Fremantle have really set up their structure a lot better. Their wingers sitting back off the contest, not getting drawn up into it, so they're able to release back by hand first to then move forward. And Lobb has just fought extremely hard against Marshall since Darcy has exited the game.
Sarong, delayed hand pass to Walters. He's having a massive game now, Walters. Taberner takes it inside the line. He'll want to go, does immediately as he got an option. Drives towards home. Fife is there. Get the free kick on that Fife. Wow, Howard can't believe it.
Well, he's the best one-on-one mark in the game. Yep. He didn't actually mark the one. I think he got the free kick, but there's a darn good kick from Taberner on the non-preferred.
It's a long way back for the Saints now. Nat Fife to kick his second goal from the square. The Dockers have kicked the last 8 goals of this match. They are drawing away from the Saints, incredibly.
Well, I think that's the word. At quarter time, this game, in the eyes of 99% of people, was over. And yet they have just turned this around. I mean, it is totally compounded by the fact that they're down on the interchange bench. Now, I know it's shorter games, Jono, but they have just not showed any sense of fatigue whatsoever. In fact, they've upped their work rate.
It's the representation at, you know, Fife has not left the square. It's that forward of ball representation that, you know, normally we've seen Tabernar would get that ball, for example, and then have to wait for someone to get in position to kick the ball, rather than now, Fife just in that spot. Fremantle get it to a dangerous position, they turn, and he goes to a one-on-one that you give him confidence to win every single time he goes at it, Fife. So
3 possessions in the second half, and he's kicked a couple of goals.
That's right, but the effect has been quite good, because once it's hit the deck as well, it's brought others into the game.
Shades of Geelong, who were out Duncan and Mitchell, Narkle, and came back against Brisbane the other night, but not to this extent. Hadn't given up 7 goals in the first term. If Freo go and win this, Jono, this is a famous win for the footy club.
Yeah, this is massive.
Something you can really build belief around, but now have the Saints got the belief to kick 3 in the closing 9 minutes?
That we go back to St Kilda now, because Fremantle are able to stop the rot and get the game back on their terms. Well, St Kilda's got 8 minutes to do it, and Brett Ratton's got 8 minutes to try and work a way to inspire his team to do it.
Marsh in the ruck against Lobb.
But yeah, if Fremantle hold on here, you're right. That win last week, this is massive. Go home. Right, all of a sudden, it's just starting to roll. They quarter time, we're thinking, how far behind are they as a club in terms of what they were producing? So they'll get so much out of this if they can hold on here, the Dockers.
Take on the Eagles at home next week. The Saints take on Adelaide in Adelaide on Monday in a week and a half's time. Here's an opportunity for Geary to Caulfield. Can the Saints run through the middle of Metricon? Butler had a good first half, takes the bounce, takes on Schultz. Aggressive play from Butler, sends a ball deep forward. Freo got the answers in the air. Marshall oozes after the football. Beaten to it by Bewley. He goes to Mundy.
And Mundy continues to improve. You just see when Butler gets the ball, something generally happens. Brad Hill's the one. He's had 2 possessions since quarter time, Brad Hill. And maybe it's time to push him into the goal square, Jono, and get him out of the ball transition area. Maybe push somebody else up there.
Freo can afford to take a bit of time off the clock now. Steele just gets out of the tackle. Caulfield, nice step around Chera. Aggressive hand pass. Steele, high ball, forward. Marshall makes a contest, spending some time deep, the big man. Can he get it to Loney? Bounces off his chest. Loney has a second crack at it. Mundy in game 321, mops up again to Brayshaw. Ryan finds a bit of clear work. Shoves it out of defence.
Rory, John.
Just no scoreboard pressure at all, is there? They've just got that really comfortable gap right now, Fremantle. They know they're working better, working harder than the opposition. Something has to give soon if they're going to even challenge.
Who can spark the Saints? Can Butler get on the end of a couple? He's working hard at ground level there. Here's an inside 50 ball. Back with the flight. Good grab running back. And here's an opportunity for the Saints. For Memory, who kicked the opening goal of the match, to kick the Saints' first goal since the 16-minute mark of the second term. Leading goal kicker at the Saints in 3 of the last 4 years. Originally started his career up in Sydney. Tim Membry just needs to kick this goal for the Saints. Normally good in front of the big sticks, and he is, and a bit of hope for the Saints.
"13 points in arrears, Jono. Certainly not out of this game with 6 minutes of play remaining. A nice quick centre bounce here would really put the acid on Fremantle. But finally, they find a way to get the ball forward, and it was really just hacking it forward. There's nothing scientific about that. It was just off the ground, in the air, and hopefully one of the big blokes was going to put his hands up and snaffle it. What an incredible centre bounce this one is going to be, Jono. Just getting some territory. Fremantle don't want to concede two quick ones. Great responsibility for Sarong. You'd be tempted to put a Fife in there right now.
All important. Centre bounce. Nice tap from Marshall. Finds Gresham. Winds the ball forward. Marsh. You're happy to see it across the line. Fremantle.
Yeah, it was a good tap. Really good tap. Set up well to Gresham. The winger for St Kilda really held wide to allow that centre bounce to unfold.
Aisha standing Butler. That's an important role deep in the game. Trying to get separation is Butler. Bewley, Chera. Long will get the chance to reset it on the outer wing. Just under 6 minutes to go.
Well, they've not got the targets. They have got the aerial strength.
Oh, lob. Can't mark it. There he is, Butler. This is the danger man. Oh, he doesn't go for goal. He goes for a centering ball, which he gets in the belly of the Sherrin. Wow. Fremantle are now running out of defence. Only for a moment, though.
And they're under serious pressure here, Fremantle. Hack kicks everywhere, and it's coming straight back.
Patton needs to go. He does now. High ball. Can the mark be taken? Yes, it can. Membry's got three. He'll line up for his fourth to bring it back to a 7-point game.
Just lost a bit of composure there, Fremantle. Justin Longmuir spent the whole summer talking about hitting targets. And yet the last two kicks coming out, one from Chera, and that last one, I can't remember who the player was, just gave it straight back to St Kilda.
Yeah, it was Brayshaw. So it was the two young ones that have had good games again today, especially Brayshaw. James Ash he was involved in that marking contest with Membry.
3 goals straight today for Tim Membry. His most important kick of the afternoon. Membry from 30 out. Oh, gee, doesn't get anywhere near a piece of that footy. Most unusual for Membry. It's back to 2 goals.
It's a big head clash here, Emily.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. That's why Aisha saw him in the hands of the trainers.
Big let off for the Dockers. And the Saints come again. Now it's Freo that are just trying to hold on to a 2-goal lead. Gresham, little step, run down from behind. Schultz was absolutely brilliant.
The running down. Schultz gets that one. They've got a hand on St Kilda at times since quarter time. That's been the major lift.
Got to push up there, St Kilda. Cannot allow them to run a minute or so off the clock. They got the out already.
He uses the option in Luke Ryan. Yep. Got another short one. So 30 seconds more of tick by. Bewley provides an option to Chera.
And this is looking better. He's going to have to push it down the line, but it has taken the 40 seconds to achieve it.
Bewley does that with a high ball. Stick it near the boundary line. Marshall had his name all over that.
Did it well there. Wilkie wrapped up the Docker.
Now they've got to go the Saints. Hill takes a bounce. Goes back the way he came. Takes a second bounce, Bradley Hill. By hand, looking for a spark, the Saints. Clark. Hill still running on hard. Patton. It works out to Billings. They want to move and move quickly. Billings does that. Drives the ball forward. Comes to ground. Beautifully picked up. Here's Gresham. Check side. The Saints have got another one. Here comes St Kilda.
They're always going to come at some stage, I suspect, Jono. Now does the interchange bench impact. The fact that they're 2 rotations down. I'm not sure. It hasn't up until the last 4 or 5 minutes, but all of a sudden you see St Kilda just starting to run a little bit from back to front. And the intensity of the pressure and the tackling pressure of Fremantle just starting to drop off a little bit, giving them chances. Once again, we go back to the centre bounce. And they've got a few more heavy hitters in there. No Sarong this time in his first half a dozen games. It's a big centre clearance for the Saints as well.
Well, it was. The last one, Marshall went to Gresham.
Yep.
With a flick over.
Saints have kicked the last 2 of the match. After Freo had kicked 8 in a row. All important centre clearance. Lob tracks it back by hand. Smothered. Mundy, he's got problems. Jones won't let him out of that tackle. A couple of tough men. Jones wins the battle. Wants to move it.
Oh, it's 50 metres.
50.
It is.
It's a massive 50 in this game. Jones should square things up.
Right out.
Oh.
Right out, please, Ken.
Jones gathers himself over the footy. 2 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. Jones from directly in front. It is all square at Metricon. 2.5 minutes to go. The game's come from nowhere.
The game was gone. The game was alive. The game was gone again. Now we're alive. This is unbelievable. Really was, and good tackle there from Jones. They've got their numbers around the ball with better intensity, Jared. I think that's been the difference in the last 5 minutes from St Kilda. Walters, you can see him creeping up there. The emotions of the game. I say it all.
The twists in this game. St Kilda led by 36 points at quarter time. Freo led by 19 points just 7 minutes prior. It is now square.
How are the fans going for both teams, really? You'd be abusing your team, you'd be up with your team, abusing them again.
All St Kilda in this final term.
Marshall and Lob. Steele, Standing Hill.
Have another crack up. No Fife again. I think you're right, Jono. There might be some lingering issue there trying to protect him. Surely you would have put him in for one of those.
Yep.
Marshall does well. Walters sharks it though to Mundy. 300-plus game veteran. Geary wobbles the ball forward. Who's there? Clever tap on from Loney. Coming back is Hill under pressure. Does really nicely, really nicely. Who's going to win the game for their side? Walters drives it forward. There's space on the outer side. Overlap of hand pass. Chance for Banfield. Short.
Really short.
And he hits Schultz with the game on his boot.
Well, he'll take 30 here, Schultz. Take the full allotted time to have this shot.
He missed one in the third quarter, did Lachie Schultz.
I reckon over the journey, though, he's shown himself to be pretty good in front of the sticks. But there's a lot riding on this one. This is no ordinary shot.
Lachie Schultz to kick his second goal of the afternoon and give Freo the lead. In the dying stages, kicks the goal! 1:20 on the clock, Freo lead it by a straight kick.
And he kicked it, Jono, from the exact spot that Justin Longmuir kicked that famous goal many years ago. But that one was 4 seconds of play remaining. But this one may prove to be just as important. It was good ball movement, controlled ball movement. Where's the Saints? They've got the overlap. They must have all run forward. They're too late. Good holes there. Big chance now for St Kilda. This is a must centre bounce win. And from the exact same spot, Justin Longmuir did this many years ago. In fact, 15 years ago. The coach Now he's up in the box. And he went back and slotted it. So from Longmuir to Schultz, who can get the job done now?
That's it. And St Kilda have led 5-1 out of centre bounce in this last quarter alone. So they need to make it 6-1. Right now, this is it, St Kilda.
And Big Max put his mark on the game and take it, Mark.
Lob and Marshall. Lob does well. Walters hacks it out of the middle. Lucks of fortune, hits Collier. He'll take time off the clock, you'd imagine. No, immediately plays on.
Well, Sonny Walters has got the last two after giving away that silly free kick.
Now there's a chance for the Saints. A minute on the clock. Called to play on. Ross somehow gets the handball away. Free kick to steal.
It's all about discipline now for Fremantle.
They want to move immediately, the Saints. Wilkie, normally good on the left, just bangs the ball forward. Huge contest. King punched away from him. Back towards Clark. Advantage will be paid, it is. Kent driving ball. Here come the Saints. 37 seconds on the clock. Freo. They just need a short kick and a mark. Freo, they've got this game. Can St Kilda stop that happening? Good spoil by Loney. 26 seconds.
We'll get everybody in the back 50. Doesn't matter whether Nat Fyfe's got a hamstring. Just push them all back.
Rowan and Rory.
Just can't give away a free kick here. Got to kill this football if you are Fremantle and keep it alive if you're the Saints.
Marshall.
That's what you
across
know.
the line. There's 6 more seconds gone.
I reckon if you're the Saints, you want to flick it out the back into some space. You've got to get it away from the bubble.
Edge of your seat stuff at Metricon. 20 seconds on the clock. Saints searching for an equaliser. They led it by 36 points at quarter time. Freo, 2 men down on the bench. This would be a famous win for the Fremantle Football Club. Last roll of the dice for the Saints. They drive the ball forward. Freo get the mark. They're going to win this, Fremantle. They are going to win this. I don't know how. Fremantle in a famous, famous win. The Dockers win it by a straight kick. Well, St Kilda led it by 36 points at quarter time, 13 at the half, Freo by 8 at three-quarter time. Devastation for St Kilda. And Fremantle, well, this is something, some win to build your season on.
Jono, I haven't got the numbers in front of me, but that's the best win I've seen for the year. That is just an incredible turnaround. I mean, there'll be a lot of discussion. The bus did this, the bus did that. That's all rubbish. They were 7 goals in front, or 6 goals in front at quarter time. They were 2 men up for the entirety of the game, and that was a job they should have been able to get done. This was an incredible win. Sonny Walters gave away a 50, but he got the next 2 centre clearances to fight back and get them a victory.
Well, Hayden Young going out early. Darcy as well down for Fremantle. Fife playing in the goal square. Maybe because of those rotations down, he might be injured. They had to play him to full forward just to protect him and allow those rotations to continue within the midfield. And that was probably something that they might want to do, Fremantle. I'm sure we'll find out in the next couple of days what's going on there.
Sarah, that is why we love the footy. Fremantle somehow steal it from the Saints.